I'm Allie, and this is going to be an hour-long flow class. And we are starting out in a cross-legged seat, which you guys already, I think, all are in. We're just going to begin to settle. Maybe you close your eyes. It's nice if you want to sit up on a blanket, give yourself a little cushioning, elevate the hips, and just rest your hands wherever is comfortable. Allow your shoulders to settle. And begin to feel yourself in space, noticing your spine, lifting, lengthening all the way up, slightly reaching up through the crown of your head, opening all the muscles of your face, jaw, and then just begin to notice your breath. Feel each inhale and exhale. Allow your breath to deepen. Today, maybe we would count out the breath. Maybe inhaling to a count of 6, exhaling out for a count of 8. You could always change those numbers, shortening or lengthening as you like. Counting, the beat of the breath, just helps steady the mind even more. Never try to force anything. Should never feel like a struggle. Just gently coaxing the breath. Let's take 2 more deep breaths here. And we'll let go of that counting of the breath. We're just going to switch out the cross of the legs here. We're going to begin to add our movement. So we'll resettle opposite shin in front. Give that a moment to land. Make sure you're comfortable. And then we'll rest the hands on the lap here. You can always keep the eyes closed. And we're going to start to make some circles, taking the right shoulder towards the right knee, sweeping the chest in front, over to the left. And we're just going to roll it out. Feel into your hips, into your low back. Side body, you can make these whatever you like, as large as you like. And go one more circle this way. And then we'll just pause, reverse it out. We're going to take those opposite direction. And let's just go one more circle this way. We'll slow it down, come back to center, come back to stillness, find that nice tall spine. And then with your next inhale, just reach your arms around and up. We'll bring palms to touch, and then exhale the hands down through heart center. We're going to pause here a moment. If there is an intention you have, something you'd like to set for your practice, something you're working on, you can take that to heart now. And then with your next inhale, just sweep your arms around and up. This time as you exhale, rotate right. We're going to let the hands lower. And then as you inhale, come back up through center, reach up. As you exhale, rotate left. And we're going to keep this going, flowing with the breath. Inhaling to reach, exhaling to rotate. You can just observe the body here, the sensations. You can slowly grow the twist over time. And not forcing anything, just listening to the body, easing into it. One more time, side to side. And then we'll meet back in the middle, arms reaching up. Let's bring the palms to touch again, lower the hands down through heart center. Again, we'll just connect here for a moment. And then we're gonna take the hands down, we'll uncross the legs. We're gonna find a bound angle pose, just bringing soles of the feet together, letting the knees go wide. And you can always prop up with blocks under the thighs if you like here. We'll bring the hands to the feet. We're just gonna take a moment to find a tall spine, and we're gonna pause, letting the shoulders soften down. And then we'll just drop the chin down towards the chest. And we're gonna rock the head a little side to side. You can make full circles if you like. Let's just go side to side one more time, or one more circle. And then we'll come back down through center. We're gonna lift the chin back up, parallel with the mat, and then we can zip the legs up. We're gonna lengthen the legs out long. Just give the legs a quick little wiggle. And then we're gonna take the legs wide as you're comfortable going. Come right to the front edge of our blanket, and then just bend into that right knee, and we'll bring the sole of the right foot in. So we're kind of in this wide Janu Shirshasana. We're gonna take the hands down by the sides. We're gonna start with the right hand. We're just gonna cross the right arm up and over. We'll lean in towards the left, and you can crawl out that bottom hand if you like. We're just gonna pause here. Take one more breath. And then we'll cross that right hand back down. We're gonna cross the left arm over, leaning in towards the right. And again, we're just gonna pause and just take a moment, feel that length from your left hip up through the fingertips. And then we'll cross that left hand back down. We'll come back to center, and we're just gonna switch out the legs here. Slowly finding the shape, settling in. We'll take the hands down by the sides. And this time, we're gonna lift the left arm up first. We'll cross over towards the right. And then we'll cross that left hand back down. We'll lean in towards the left. And then we'll cross that left hand back, or right hand back down. And then we'll just let the left leg go long for a moment, just to let both legs settle down. There can always be a bend in the knees here. We just work towards straightening over time. We're gonna take the hands right in front, finding a tall spine. And we're just gonna go really gentle here. We're gonna crawl the hands forwards, just hinging just a little bit, maybe just a third of the way. And then we'll walk the hands back. And we're just gonna try to hinge right at the hips here as we tip forwards, crawl the hands forwards. Now listen to your body. We'll walk the hands back. We're just gonna do this one more time. Just a movement to awaken the backs of the legs. And then we'll just come back up. We're gonna bring the legs back together. And then from here, we can bend into the knees, and we're gonna find our way to tabletop. Just come up and over. You can pat under your knees as you like here. We're gonna be on hands and knees for a little bit. So make sure your knees are comfortable. And then we're gonna line up knees under hips, wrists under shoulders, fingers spread nice and wide. And we'll start with cat and cow. Inhaling to drop belly, lift chest, lift tailbone. Exhaling to round. You just find your flow here, connecting with your breath. Listen to your body. Feel free to add any extra little movements. Let's go one more cycle. And then we're gonna find a neutral spine. Torso parallel with the mat. And we're gonna step the right foot straight back, lengthening out through the right heel, setting that right foot down. And then just pause and gazing down towards the mat, belly button engaged up and in. We're gonna float the right heel up. Maybe we lift up to hip height. We're gonna keep extending out through that heel. And then we'll bend into the right knee, reaching the sole of the foot up towards the ceiling. Hips are level here. We're gonna begin to slowly draw circles with that right knee, reaching the right knee forwards, out to the side, around, and back. And just see if you can just really isolate this to the hips. Everything else stays steady. We're gonna go 3 circles this way. And then we just will pause and we'll take those circles opposite direction. Feeling the movement. After that 3rd circle, we're gonna pause, right knee reaching up, right foot reaching up. Take an inhale. As you exhale, crunch that right knee forwards and in towards the chest. We're gonna scoop the belly in, draw that right knee in as close as you can get it. And then we'll inhale to lift that right knee back up. This time as we exhale, we're gonna cross over outside the right elbow. We're gonna go wide and we'll hug that right knee in towards the arm. And then we'll inhale to lift back up. And this time we're gonna crisscross over outside the left elbow and we'll hold that right thigh in as much as we can. And then we're gonna uncross. We'll reach that right knee back up and then set the right leg down. Just pause for a moment to feel that sensation, right side. We'll step the left leg straight back this time. We're gonna float that left leg up. See if you can keep everything else the same. Belly button engaged in. Bend into your left knee, reaching sole of the foot up. And then those slow circles, drawing left knee forwards, out to the side, around and back. 3 circles and just feel that all the way around. And then we'll pause. We'll take those circles the opposite way. And after the 3rd circle, just pause, left knee reaching up, left foot reaching up. And then we'll exhale, crunch and round that left knee forwards and in towards the chest. We're gonna hold it in. And then next inhale, we'll lift that left leg back up. This time as we exhale, we're going outside the left elbow. So going wide, hugging that left leg in towards the arm. We'll inhale to lift back up and then exhale, we're gonna crisscross. This time outside of that right arm, it's a little twist. And then we'll inhale to lift back up and then set that left knee down. Now from here, we're gonna step the right foot straight back again. But this time we're gonna kickstand the left foot out to the side, rolling the right foot down, so we'll find a side plank. Kneeling side plank, our left wrist right under the shoulder, or the palm could be down to a block, and then the right arm can reach up towards the ceiling. We're gonna steady down through the right foot. We'll keep that foot planted for the time being. And then we're gonna rotate the right palm down and extend the right arm alongside the ear, reaching fingertips forwards, so we get this long stretch all the way up the right side body. And then we'll reach the right arm back up towards the ceiling. From here, we can bend into the elbow, take the right hand to the hip. We're gonna steady down through that bottom palm and begin to float the right leg up, lengthening out through that right heel. And then we'll take some dynamic movement here. We're gonna lower the right foot down. We're gonna lift the right leg back up. We'll do that 2 more times. Dropping down, lifting back up. 1 more time. And then we'll set that right foot back down. We're gonna gaze down towards the mat, take the right hand back down to the mat, bring everything back in, tabletop. This time we'll step the left foot straight back. We're gonna kickstand right foot out to the side. We'll roll open towards that long edge of the mat. Left arm reaches up towards the ceiling. So shoulders are stacking. We're gonna rotate left palm to face down, extend the left arm alongside the ear. And then we'll reach the left arm back up. We're gonna bend into that elbow, take the left hand to the hip. And then from here, steadying into the right palm as we float the left leg up, reaching out through that left heel. And then we'll take that dynamic movement, lowering the left foot down, lifting back up. 2 more times. And then we'll set that left foot down, gaze down to the mat. We'll take everything back down, tabletop, bring it all back in. And then from tabletop, we'll take a child's pose. We're gonna take the knees a little wider, bring big toes to touch, ease hips down towards the heels, forehead down towards the mat, and just let that go. Relax your wrists here. We were on the wrists a lot. You could take some little circles if that feels good. Next inhale, let's begin to lift up through our tabletop. And then from tabletop, we'll take the hands forward just about a palm's width distance. We're gonna tuck the toes, send the hips up and back. We'll take our first downward dog here. You can walk your dog, bending one knee, straightening the opposite leg, going side to side. You can also pause in stillness if your leg's already feeling pretty awake. Gonna relax the neck here, just gazing back towards the legs. Steady down through both palms. Think about lengthening, straightening into the arms, shifting shoulders up away from the ears, lengthen your hips up and back. And then next, inhale, let's lift up onto the balls of the feet. And as you exhale, ripple forward into a plank. We're gonna bring shoulders right over the wrists, hips in line with the rest of the body. We'll tap the knees down, untuck the toes, and we're gonna shift forwards, lowering all the way down with control to the belly. And then next inhale, peel up, head, neck, chest, baby cobra. Exhale, we'll lower down. We're gonna inhale, pressing back up onto hands and knees. We'll tuck the toes, send the hips up and back, downward facing dog. And then we'll just pause here, or you can walk the dog a few more times. As we begin to build up the flow here, build up the movement, just listen to your body, make sure everything feels okay at all times. You can always adjust if it doesn't. Remember that the vinyasas, where we flow through the back bend back into our downward facing dog, those can always be modified. Those can always be skipped entirely. Let's put a bend into the knees. We'll shift the gaze forwards and we're gonna walk it up to the top. Take as many steps as you need. And then at the top, let's inhale, find a halfway lift, sliding hands up the shins. Exhale, we'll fold in. Inhale to press up, reaching arms up alongside the ears. Exhaling, arms down by the side. And then we'll inhale to reach up. Exhale to fold in. Inhale to half lift. Exhale to fold. Inhale to sweep arms around and up. Exhale your arms down by your side. We'll do that one more time. Inhale to reach up. Exhale, fold in. Inhale to half lift, finding length. Exhaling to fold. Inhale, we'll sweep the arms around and up. Exhale, arms down by the side. And then let's inhale to reach arms around and up. This time we're gonna pause. We'll steady down through the left foot. We're gonna lighten up onto the right toes. And then we're just gonna lift that right knee up any amount. Steady down through that left leg. We're gazing forwards. We're gonna take one more breath, our one-legged mountain. And then we'll set the right foot down. This time we're gonna land the right foot, lighten up onto the left toes. We're gonna lift that left knee up any amount. And then we'll set the left foot down. This time we're gonna bend, settle both feet down. We're gonna bend into the hips here, bending into the knees, finding a chair pose. That didn't come out as clearly as I wanted. Always the option to bring the hands to heart center here. We're just gonna settle in, allowing the hips to settle down any amount, keeping the spine nice and long, belly button engaged in. Take one more breath. And then folding in. Next inhale, we'll take a halfway lift. Exhale, we'll fold. I'm gonna suggest maybe we bring the hands to blocks. We're gonna step the right foot back, finding a lunge on the ball of the right foot. And we'll just make sure we line up here, the left knee over the ankle, feet are about hips width distance apart. We're gonna let the hips settle and we're just gazing forwards. Long spine, belly button engaged in. Now always the option to tap the right knee down to the mat, or we can keep that right knee lifted. Right palm's gonna stay planted. We're gonna rotate left, belly, ribs, and chest, reaching the left arm up. So shoulders are stacking here. We're gonna begin to circle out that top arm, reaching the left arm forwards, down, around, and up. And we're gonna go 3 big circles. If it's ever too intense, you can always set that right knee down to the mat. Listen to your body. Once we've gone 3 this direction, we're gonna go the opposite direction. Everything else is steady. We're just circling out that top shoulder. 1 more circle. And then we'll reach that left arm back up. Let's pause. We're gonna close the left hand down. We'll gaze forwards. We're gonna take a big step up, right foot. Inhaling to half lift. Exhaling to fold. We're gonna plant the hands to the block, step the left foot back. We can always adjust. If we don't land exactly where we wanna be, we're gonna settle in here for a moment. Right knee right over the ankle, hips settling, spine long. Think all the way from your tailbone, forwards through the neck, forwards through the crown of the head, wrists right under the shoulders. And then this time the left palm's gonna stay planted. We're gonna begin to rotate right, belly, ribs, and chest. Right arm's gonna reach up and just feel that length from your bottom palm up through your top fingertips. We're gonna begin to circle out that right arm, taking the right arm forwards, around and down and up. And everything else stays steady. 1 more circle. Then we pause and we reverse it out. Taking the arm backwards, forwards, and up. 3 circles this way. And then we'll pause. We're gonna gaze down, take that right hand down to the mat. We'll gaze forwards, take a big step up, left foot. Inhaling to half lift. Exhaling to fold. This time, let's inhale, sweep the arms around and up. Exhale, arms down by your side. And then we'll inhale to reach up. Exhale to fold in. Inhale to half lift. Exhale to fold. We're gonna plant the hands. We're gonna step it back to plank. Now you can decide if you wanna tap the knees down here, or we could keep the knees lifted and maybe we lower all the way down. Inhaling up into our baby cobra or cobra. Exhaling to lower back down. We'll inhale to press up onto hands and knees. Tuck the toes. Send the hips up and back. Downward facing dog. And we're gonna pause here about 4 breaths. This is the rest, the pause, the time to catch up. If you do any different sort of a vinyasa. Also, chance to find a child's pose if you choose. Or we just hang out here. Downward facing dog. We'll take 1 more breath. And then bending into your knees, shift your gaze forwards. You can walk or take a big step up to the top and then another. And we'll inhale to find a half lift. Exhale to fold in. Inhale to sweep arms around and up. Exhale, arms down by the side. And we'll keep it going. We're going to inhale to reach up. Exhale to fold in. Inhale to half lift. Exhale to fold. We'll plant the hands. We're going to step it back to plank. Option, you can lower the knees, keep the knees lifted. Maybe we lower all the way down, or maybe we lower halfway down. We flip over the toes, find our upward facing dog, and come right back to downward facing dog, rolling over the toes again. So just all options here. Listen to your body, find your breath, smooth out the breath. Feel what you feel. Now this time it's going to be a little different. We're going to add on. We're going to step the right foot in between the palms, gaze forwards, take a big step up, right foot. So we have our lunge. But from here, we're going to roll the left foot down. We're going to rise up, windmilling the arms, finding our warrior two. So that back foot is about at a 90-degree angle. You can always point those left toes forward slightly. We're going to bend into the right knee, bringing the right knee right over the ankle, and our hips open towards the long edge. Steady down through your feet. Allow your hips to settle here. And then let's hinge forwards over that right hip crease. We'll take right forearm to thigh, reach the left arm up, and then we can extend the left arm alongside the ear. Lengthening all the way from the outer edge of the foot up through the fingertips. Take one more breath. And then next inhale, rising up. This time we'll straighten into the right leg. We're going to flip the right palm up, reach right arm alongside the ear, a reverse triangle. You can just let that backhand slide down the back leg. And then let's bend back into the front knee, warrior two. We're going to shift the gaze down, windmill the hands back down to the mat. We're going to lift up onto the ball of that back foot. We've got our runner's lunge. And then from here, we'll plant the left palm down. Hand could always be to a block. We're going to rotate right, reach the right arm up. Lengthening from that bottom palm up through the top fingertips. And then we'll take the right hand down. We're going to gaze forwards, big step up. Inhaling to half lift. Exhaling to fold. And then inhaling, we'll sweep the arms around and up. Exhale the arms down. And then inhaling to reach up. Exhaling to fold in. Inhaling to half lift. Exhaling to fold. We'll plant the hands, step it back to plank. Now option to skip the vinyasa, come back to downward facing dog, or you know all the options, so you can decide what feels best in your body this moment in time. You meet back in downward facing dog, pausing, observing. And each time we flow through one of these vinyasas, a sun salutation, just make sure you're moving mindfully with intention, that you're just as mindful as the first time you did it in the practice, even though you may be tiring. You're always moving slowly, thoughtfully, observing. When we modify, we take a rest. We're going to take a big step up, left foot. And then this is where we'll find our warrior 2 feet. We're going to roll the right foot down. Hips are going to open up towards that long edge. We'll windmill the arms around and up. Bending into that front knee, settling the hips, steadying down through that back foot, that back leg, and gazing out over the front finger. Then we'll hinge over the left hip crease. We'll take left forearm to thigh, right arm will reach up, and then we can extend the right arm alongside the ear. Palm facing down, and just feel all that length. Your gaze can go wherever is comfortable. And then next inhale, we'll rise. Warrior 2. We'll straighten into the left leg, flip the left palm up, left arm reaches alongside the ear. Stretch for that left side now. And then let's tee the arms out. Warrior 2, bending into that front knee. We'll gaze down, windmill the hands down to the mat or blocks as we roll onto the ball of the right foot. We're going to plant the right hand down, rotate left, belly, ribs, and chest, left arm reaching up. We'll take that left hand down, gazing forwards, big step up. Inhale to half lift. Exhale to fold in, and then inhaling to reach arms around and up. Exhaling, arms down by the sides. We'll inhale to reach up. Exhale to fold in. Inhale to half lift. Exhale to fold. We'll plant the hands, step it back to plank. You know all the options here. If you want to flow through a vinyasa, if you want to skip, come back to down dog. We're going to all meet here. And we're just building on Creating this flowing movement matched to the breath, building up warmth. Focusing the mind. Softening shoulders away from the ears. Feeling that length from the palms all the way up through the hips. Evenly lengthening hips up and back. Now from here, we're gonna add on steadying down through both palms. We're gonna inhale to reach the right leg, up and back, three-legged dog. Lengthening out through that right heel, extending that right leg. Bend into your right knee. From here, we're gonna draw the right knee forwards and in towards the chest, a plank crunch. Scooping that right thigh in any amount. Then we'll inhale to reach the right leg, up and back, three-legged dog. This is familiar here. This next time, we're gonna bend into the right knee, draw the right knee wide outside of that right elbow. As we scoop the belly button up and in, then we'll inhale to reach that right leg up and back. Exhale, we're gonna crisscross outside of that left elbow. We'll hug that left thigh in. Next inhale, we're gonna reach that right leg up and back. One more time, we're gonna come right to the middle here, crunching, rounding, tucking that right thigh in. Gaze in between the palms, step the right foot through. Now we're gonna roll the left foot down just like we did before. Warrior two, we'll windmill the arms around and up. We're gonna bend into that front knee, allow the hips to settle. Remember, once we come up, we can always make little adjustments. Make sure everything feels good. Then we settle in. Now from here, we're gonna hinge over the right hip crease. We're gonna either take right forearm to thigh, or we can float that right hand inside of the right leg or bring the right hand down to a block. You could also go outside of that right leg if you like here. Left arm's gonna reach straight up. We're gonna rotate left ribs up. Gaze can go wherever you like here. Traditional would be up towards the ceiling, but if it feels better to gaze forwards or down, you go with that. Now we're gonna take it into a triangle pose here. All we have to do to come into our triangle is to straighten into that right leg. We can always keep the hand down to the block. We could always bring the hand to the shin. And we're gonna straighten into that right leg as much as we can, but without straight up locking into that right knee. We want a little micro bend there. We'll take one more breath. And then next inhale, we're gonna rise up. We'll bend into that front knee, our warrior two. Now from here, this is gonna be a little bit challenging. We're gonna rotate onto the ball of that left foot. I mean, it's not that challenging, but thinking about it here. Rotating onto the ball of that left foot, bending a little into that left knee. We're gonna find our high lunge. And then we'll reach the arms up. We're gonna allow the hips to settle. Find your footing here. We can always go a little bit wider with that front foot. And then we're gonna gaze forwards. I'm gonna give two options here. One is that we just take a big step up with that left foot. The second option is that we're gonna try to float that left foot forwards into our one-legged mountain. So those two options, either a big step up or we're gonna step up, we're gonna float the left knee forwards. All right, now from here, we're gonna take the right hand down to that right thigh. We're gonna tee the left arm out to the side. And then very slowly, we're just gonna begin to rotate left, belly, ribs, chest, that left arm reaching back, left ribs reaching back. We could tee the right arm out, or you can keep that right hand to the left thigh. We're gonna find our focus here. Take one more breath. And then we're gonna slowly bring the palms to touch. We'll slowly unwind our twist. And now we're gonna float that left leg back again. We'll hinge, tip, sweeping the left toes back. We're gonna land that left foot down, our crescent lunge. We can sweep the arms up. Maybe we shift the gaze up here. And then we're gonna take the hands down to the mat. We're gonna steady down through the feet. This time we're gonna take a big step back with that right foot. Big step back, plank pose. Optional vinyasa or straight back to downward facing dog, or you could find a child's pose. We'll meet back in our downward facing dog. This is the chance to reset, smooth out the breath, observe your body. Next inhale, let's reach the left leg up and back, three-legged dog. Just take a moment to reach out through that left heel, extending that left leg, even weight in both palms. Then we'll bend into the left knee. We're going to draw the left knee forwards and in towards the chest as we rock into a plank, hugging that left thigh in. Then inhaling to reach back up, extending that left leg back out. Exhale, we're going to go wide this time, outside of the left elbow. Inhale, we'll lift back up. Exhale, we're going to crisscross outside of the right elbow. We'll hug that right thigh in as close as we can get it. And then inhale to lift back up. Exhale, straight to the midline here, crunching that left thigh in, gazing in between the palms. Step the left foot through. And then we're going to roll the right foot down. We'll find that 90-degree plant there, and then we're going to windmill the arms around and up. Teeing the arms out. Settling in. Finding your feet here, finding your hips. Letting yourself land. Opening shoulders. Focusing the gaze. And then we're going to hinge over that left hip crease. Left forearm to thigh, or we float to the inside, or a hand to a block. Right arm's going to reach straight up towards the ceiling. And then just let your hips settle here. We can keep that bend in the front knee. One more breath. And then we'll take it to our triangle. All we're going to do is straighten into that left leg, sending that left hip crease back. You could always bring the left hand to the shin. We're just going to make sure we don't lock that front knee. Keep the length forwards through the crown of your head. We'll reach that right arm straight up towards the ceiling. Make sure we're not overextending that right arm back. I'm going to point straight up. So share, you can bring your right arm back in a little bit. So it's, yep, keep going, keep going. Nope, yep, yes, right there, right there, right there. Yep, perfect. I don't know if that feels any different. How does that feel to you? Okay. And then next inhale, we're going to begin to rise up. We'll bend into that front knee, letting the hips settle, gazing forwards. And then from here, we're going to windmill the hand. Whoa, nope, we're not. I forgot where we're going here. We're going to come onto the ball of the right foot. We're going to allow the hips to follow along with that foot. We're going to find our lunge here, just so we can take this tricky little balance flow. We're going to let the hips settle, gaze forwards, little bend in that back knee. Give yourself a moment to find your footing here. Make sure you feel steady, and focus the gaze somewhere just slightly ahead. Allow your shoulders to settle. And then the options. We're either going to take a big step up right foot, or we're going to take a big step up. We'll see if we can float that right knee forwards, lifting that right knee up to hip height. We're all going to bring ourselves here. And then we're going to take the left hand, take it down to the right leg. We'll tee the right arm out to the side. Keep your gaze steady as you slowly begin to rotate, reaching right ribs back, left ribs forwards. Right arm's going to draw back. And then we could try bringing the left arm out to a T, finding our focus here. One more breath. And then slowly bringing palms to touch. We can unwind the twist. We're going to step it back to our lunge. Travel slowly, tap the right toes down. We'll sweep the arms around and up. Maybe we shift the gaze up. And then we're going to take the hands down to the mat or our blocks. We're going to take a big step back, left foot, a vinyasa or skipping, coming back to down dog or a child's pose. Remember, each time, listening to your body, doing what feels right in the moment. I know personally all throughout a flow practice, I mix it up. Let's take the knees down. We're going to take it into a full child's pose. Just bring your knees a little bit wider, big toes to touch. Ease your hips down to your heels, forehead down to the mat. We'll crawl the fingertips forwards. And just pause here for a couple of breaths. Allow everything to settle. We've got one more sequence here to kind of tie everything all together, everything that we've done. Take one more breath. And then next inhale, begin to rise up onto hands and knees. We'll tuck the toes, send the hips up and back, downward facing dog. Give yourself a moment to lengthen out. And then next inhale, we're going to reach the right leg up and back, a three-legged dog, extending out through the right heel. This time we'll bend into the right knee. We're going to open up the right hip. Sending that right hip over the left, letting the right foot drop over towards that left side. And then let's begin to unwind that twist. We're going to draw the right knee forwards in towards the chest, scooping that right thigh in. And then we're going to crisscross that right knee over outside of that left elbow. Let your right hip drop down. We'll extend the right leg out. So we're on the outside edge of that right foot. That right leg is long. And then think side plank here. We're going to rotate towards that left side. We'll sweep the left arm up towards the ceiling. We've got that right wrist right underneath the shoulder. We're going to rainbow that bottom hip up, and that left foot can plant down on the mat. So we've got a fallen triangle here. We're going to take one more breath. And then we're going to begin to rotate that top hand back down to the mat. We're going to unwind our hips here. We'll reach the right leg up and back, three-legged dog. Now this time we're going to bend into the right knee. We're going to draw that right knee outside of that right elbow, taking that right knee wide. And then we'll step the right foot down. We're going to find a lizard pose. So the right knee, think plank crunch outside of that right elbow. We're going to step that right foot down. And then we're going to drop the left knee down. And we'll find our lizard pose. We're going to settle in here. So you can take your right foot a little wider if you like. You can let the right toes turn out. We can always crawl that left knee a little bit further back. We could always have hands to blocks here. Just take maybe 2 breaths here to settle in, allowing your hips to drop, finding that length in your spine all the way up through your neck, up through the crown of your head. And then it's just an option if you want to try walking the hands forwards. If we want to try maybe lowering the forearms down to blocks or lowering forearms down to the mat. We're going to see if we can keep the pelvis facing forwards. And we're just opening up from that right hip. Long spine, gazing down towards the mat. Left toes just reaching straight back. Relax your neck here if it feels good to just kind of rock your head a little side to side. You can rock. And then let's just begin to lift back up onto the palms. Take your time, move slowly. And then we're gonna tuck the left toes under, lift the left knee. We'll pause here. We're preparing for a big step back. So pressing down into that the left toes, we're gonna take a big step back with that right foot, plank pose. Maybe dropping the knees down, or you can, well, Vinyasa if you like. That's what I meant to say here. Or you can take a child's pose. We land back, downward facing dog or child's pose in your own time. This is the place where we all catch up. Take 2 more breaths. Next inhale, we're going to reach the left leg up and back, our 3-legged dog, keeping hips level for the moment, extending out through the left heel. Then we'll bend into the left knee. We're going to rotate the left hip up towards the ceiling, letting that left foot drop over to the right. See if you can keep rooting down through that left palm. Begin to unwind. We're going to draw left knee forwards and in towards the chest, our plank crunch. And then we'll crisscross that left knee over outside of the right arm. We're going to straighten out that left leg. So we're on the outer edge of that left foot. We'll roll the right foot down as we open that right arm up towards the ceiling. Think side plank here. Side plank in that bottom half of the body. We've just scooted the bottom leg out. This is our fallen triangle. So we're going to rainbow the bottom hip up. We can press into the outer edge of that left foot. We're creating lift from that bottom palm up through the top fingertips. We'll shift the gaze down. We're going to take right hand back down to the mat. We're going to begin to bring that left knee back in, reach the left leg up and back, our 3-legged dog. And then this time we're going to bend into the left knee, drawing the left knee wide outside of that left arm, stepping the left foot forward. So we've got our lizard lunge on the left side. We'll drop the right knee down. And then from here, you can settle in. So if you want to go a little bit wider, we can let the left toes turn out. We can crawl that right knee back in space for more of a stretch there. Our hips are still facing up towards the top. That left hip is just opening out. And we'll just settle, gazing down towards the mat, spine long. And then if you want to, walk the hands forwards. You can always bring forearms down to blocks or forearms down to the mat. This is just an option. Remember, we don't force anything into the body. We want to be able to hold and sustain whatever pose we find for at least 2 or 3 breaths. It's that balance of effort and ease. Next inhale, let's slowly begin to lift back up onto the palms. From here, we can prepare for our big step back. We're gonna tuck the right toes under, lifting that right knee. I'm gonna take a big step back, left foot, finding our plank pose. Then let's tap the knees down. This time, let's take a child's pose. Just bring your knees wide, ease your hips down and back, and we're gonna let that go. That was our last big flow here. Again, you could take some wrist circles if your wrists are bothering you. You could also just come up onto the fingertips. Sometimes that feels like a nice stretch for the backs of the palms, the shoulders. Next inhale, we'll slowly begin to lift back up, coming up through tabletop. And then we're going to scoot the feet around. We'll draw the legs out in front. We're going to find ourselves a seat. Maybe we come up onto a blanket. And we're going to let the legs go long. Backs of the legs come down. Give yourself a little wiggle. Find a tall spine. And then we're going to bend into the right knee. We'll reach that right heel in nice and close. And we'll hop the right leg over the left. We're going to wrap that right leg with the left arm. We'll sweep the right hand behind, landing that right hand down. Take an inhale here to lift up through the crown of your head. As you exhale, just rotate any amount towards that right side. Keeping that lift up through the spine. Keeping that openness across the front of your chest. Think broadness, shoulder to shoulder. Slowly begin to unwind this twist. Take your time. We'll uncross that right leg, lengthen it out. Bend into the left knee this time. Pop the left foot over. And you'll see if you could keep that left foot planted, that left knee pointing up towards the ceiling. We'll wrap that left leg in the right arm. Sweep the left hand behind. Take an inhale. Exhale to rotate. And we can keep this going with the breath. Each inhale lengthening. Each exhale, maybe a little rotation. Finding the breath. 2 more cycles of breath. Slowly begin to unwind. Take your time. We'll uncross that left leg. Open that left leg out. Give the legs a little wiggle. And then from here, we'll bend into the knees, planting the feet. We can come off of our blanket. And we'll bring the toes to touch here, just spreading the heels slightly, finding this 90-degree bend in the legs, finding a tall spine. We'll take the hands back behind the knees. We're going to begin to lean back, keeping the spine long. At the same time, we can float the feet up, maybe bringing shins parallel with the mat. Just gazing forwards towards the feet. Spine is long. You can always take the hands from behind the knees, reaching fingertips forwards. And we're going to find 3 breaths here. Make sure you're not tensing up into your face or jaw. Just find your breath. And then let's tap the knees down, the feet down. We're going to wrap arms around the legs. Just give yourself a big squeeze here. Maybe tuck your chin in for a moment. Give yourself a little love. And then we're going to make our way down to our backs. We'll bring a block. Anything you like for Shavasana, just have that handy. Come all the way down. And then let's set up feet hips width distance apart, knees pointing up towards the ceiling, preparing for an active bridge pose. So steadying down through both feet, knees pointed up. We're going to bring arms down by the sides. And then next inhale, begin to press into your feet. Slowly curl your hips up off the mat. Curl your spine up off the mat. Maybe you come all the way to the backs of your shoulders. And we could just stay here pressing down into the backs of the arms, or you can roll one shoulder under. You can roll the other. We can interlace the hands behind the back. And we're pressing down through the arms to help lift the chest. Keep steadying down through both feet. Think about lightly hugging inner thighs in and down. Engaging, lengthening, tailbone towards the backs of the knees. Heels in towards the backs of the shoulders. And then we'll slowly begin to release, letting go of any bind, letting the spine slowly land. And then letting the knees just roll in towards one another. And then we'll scoop the knees in towards the chest. A squeeze, Apanasana. Maybe a few little rocks side to side. And let's set the feet down. This is where we'll grab our block. We'll take the block, low, wide setting. We're going to lift the hips up, scoot the block underneath. So a supported bridge pose. And then we might stay here with the feet planted, or we're going to take it into legs up the wall. You can always lift the feet up, straighten out into the legs, any amount reaching feet up towards the ceiling. And you can always do this without a block as well. Letting your shoulders relax, the backs of your arms, torso down on the mat. And just feel yourself growing heavier here. Feel your feet Your legs floating above. Relax all the muscles of your face and jaw, sides of the neck, tops of the shoulders. Notice where you still may find tension, where you still may be holding on, and see if you can bring your awareness there and let it go. Because here in this shape, we're held by the props. It should be almost effortless. You don't have to be active in any way. Let's just begin to slowly bend back into the knees, bring the feet back down, land the feet down on the mat. Pause for a moment. And then just begin to press into your feet to lift the hips up just enough to scoot the block out of the way. We'll take the arms wide. We're going to heel toe the feet wide to the outer edges of the mat and a little windshield wiper here, side to side. Maybe if it feels good, next time you come over to the right, you just pause, land for a couple of breaths. You can come back up through center, take the knees over to the left, and again, just pause. We can come back up through center. We'll heel toe the feet back in. And then from here, let's just extend one leg out, extend the other leg out. We can slowly begin to sweep both arms up overhead. We're going to take a long stretch, lengthening all the way top to bottom. Maybe we interlace the fingers, flip the palms towards the wall behind, and just really extend out any last little bit more. And then we're going to just rotate the palms down. We'll lower the arms down by the sides. We can take the feet a little wider, let the feet roll open. We are ready for Shavasana, our final resting pose. If there's any last movements you'd like to take, feel free. If you want to add some layers, add to your layers, grab your props. And if you ever find you don't have a prop you might like, just raise your hands. I'll grab it for you. Make sure you're entirely comfortable, even side to side. Allow your body to settle. Growing heavier with each exhale out. Quote for today comes from an anonymous source. This is: stop pushing the future into being with the force of your mind. Lean back into the arms of the world, the blessed lover you have been waiting for. Lean back, let the world love you through all of its many parts. Lean back, Following the joy in your heart, lean back, letting the breath of the trees fill your body. Let go of making it happen. The world has more resources and will respond in 1,000 ways you didn't know existed. Let go of form. The world has so many arms to hold you. Lean back, let go. The ride has just begun. Slowly begin to bring your awareness back to your body, starting with some little wiggles, fingers and toes, building the movement up. Whatever way feels right to you, intuitively. Eventually, we'll make our way over onto the right-hand side. Gonna tuck up into the fetal position, knees hugged in. Find a pause here. Take a full breath in and out. And then slowly begin to find your way up to a seat. Find a comfortable seat. Maybe keeping eyes closed. Feeling your way in to the seat. All spine. And then with your next inhale, just slowly circle your arms around and up. We'll bring palms to touch. You'll lower the hands down through heart center. Take another inhale to just lift your chest. And then if you'd like to join me in the sacred sound of Om, this is always just an option. You can just listen. But if so, we're going to inhale together here. Om. Just take an inhale to lift the chest. Exhale to bow forward. Thank you all for sharing in this practice with me. Namaste. Namaste at home, Becca.